Hey everybody, this is Dustin, Nervy Specialist. So today I'm looking at a 2019 Voltage, and I'll come back and get you the model number here before I wrap it up. But we had a customer come in that wanted us to upgrade their suspension and do a Roadmaster kit on it. And so as I come here closer, you'll see obviously fender skirts are missing on both sides where they've just blew loose and came off. You can see where they just screwed through the sheet metal, and when they assembled it at the factory and they didn't use rivets, and it just wallered those holes out. So the customer came in and said, hey, I want to, I'm seeing your videos, some friends of ours have had Roadmaster kits on and we want to go ahead and upgrade it. And then he said, hey, we've had some issues with our frame, and I guess they went on a trip and the center I-beams or the center hangers, they went through something and it buckled them and shot these in. So basically it shoved the suspension inwards and tweaked this on both sides. So they had to have it flat towed and on a rig to get it out, to get it to where they could get it repaired. But in the process of that, somebody put on some new hangers, and you can see that they're different. They're not normally the squared ones that we always see. And they boxed them in really nice too. But what happened was it's buckled the whole center of this. Then it's also caused that big crack there. And then the metal in here is all wavy, so it's all kicked out. And then obviously, here you can see where the hanger or the gusset that's in here is broken loose, and it's all tweaked and bowed. That kind of threw out like that the rest of the way. You can see up top here where the tire had hit and rubbed through as well, and it kind of shifted some things around, but it basically compromised the frame. And so they did that same thing to the front brackets and the rear. And so they also added a really long cross support piece. Let me see if I can get to the right angle here. So they added a metal beam in there to beef it up, to go from center hanger all the way across to the other center hanger because it had bent it so bad. So I imagine they straightened that and then added all that in there. The problem is that the I-beams now, like the camber's affected, the straightness of the I-beam is affected, where it's kind of like doing this and the I-beam's kind of doing that. And so it's made that all weak. And then we had to tell them, basically, hey, this frame needs to be reworked or something else. So by the time we would have gone through and cut off all three of the hangers on both sides, now we would be trying to weld hangers back up to a third time. So that I-beam metal's already fatigued and bad. And then it's already pretty high of a unit. It's like 13.6, I think, or maybe more. So, even if we had to go back through and like reinforce it, put an I-beam underneath of it or put a box underneath of it, it would need to go to a frame shop to have that done. So it's beyond our capability to fix that. So I'm gonna go walk around and get you the model number. But anyways, if you're having a suspension problem or something happens like that, don't just rely on, a friend or a farmer or a metal guy, or like, hey, we'll just beef it up. What I told this owner was, oops, let me get you that model number. It is a 3615. So if you have that kind of issue, don't just get somebody to go in there and correct it. That basically fatigued that metal right when that first thing happened. And the owners were saying that it ended up doing that after about 6 months old. Sorry for all the road noise behind me, but it did that when it was about six months old. And so after they, got it to the shop, took all that stuff off, put new stuff on, reinforced it. Then here recently on a trip, he said, hey, a motorcycle and some other cars were acting all crazy. And he said it ended up having to go off to the side of the road. So basically when it went off, it did this number. It not only bent both of the axles. So both these axles are bent. The springs are compromised. The hanger's compromised. Everything's kind of rolled in this way. When I say, going off, and again, I'm going to try not to get the license plate too much in here, but when it went into, say, the ditch or off the edge of the road, it did this number. Well, when it did this rocking, it rolled it so hard that it tweaked the axles, as well as the frame made it even worse. So anyways, just giving you a heads up. Sometimes we see stuff like this. We had another one that we did a video on where somebody went in and, you know, dropped all the hangers, added a tube, left a big gap in it, reinforced it all 3 places across, and did the same thing. Came in and said, hey, we want to do a Roadmaster kit on it. We weren't able to fix that one either because they had already damaged the frame. So if you're having major frame issues, you know, we can check out to verify what's going on, and then obviously, you know, recommend you to go to a frame specialty shop. I mean, we do frame repairs, but we're just doing the minor stuff, you know, obviously hangers and I-beam cracks and stuff like that. Actually, there's a Solitude over there, and you can see those plates underneath there that we're doing some cracks on right now, and I'll come back to that one. But all right, well, hopefully this helps you and kind of helps guide you. But again, if you end up having some kind of an issue where you've gone off the side of the road, or you've gone in on something hard, or you've gone over some kind of hard impact or bump, if it's damaged your axles, triple check all your suspension components, your hangers, your I-beams, make sure that nothing's compromised. Sometimes in other videos you'll see where we've opened up the underbelly to get inside there. It's actually tore the cross braces between the frame off, and it's up in the inside, so it's not even present on the outside. So but anyways, stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching. This is Dustin, your RV Specialist, and have a great day.